Welcome to the lecture series in computer science. We are seeing a series of lectures in the subject Agile methodologies. In today's session, we will be dealing with a topic called Agile project management. So, how to manage a project using Agile software development or using Agile life cycle models. So, we will be seeing what is an Agile project management. As an overview, we will see. So, in today's contents, in this session, the contents are, we will see who a manager is, what are the functionalities of a manager, what do you mean by ABC of a management. We will as well see what is the purpose or the need for this Agile project management. We will see the specialities of Agile project management. We will see what an Agile process is, how the process takes place. We will as well emphasize what is an Agile model is all about, and then we will speak about the scope of using this Agile projects, and we will as well see what are the responsibilities, roles and responsibilities of an Agile project manager or a person who is at the managerial level working in the Agile software projects. To start with, we will see the functionalities of a manager. Who is a manager? My dear students, my basic question is who a manager is. A manager, from the name implies, we can get the answer. A manager is a person who manages the activities. A manager is a person who manages the activities. So, if it is of a product development, he manages the functionalities of the product, of the project, in such a way that he gets a, or he is in a position to deliver a better product to the customer, be it of any software development lifecycle model, be it of a traditional lifecycle model or an Agile software development lifecycle model. Here, if it is of an Agile software development lifecycle model, the role of manager is to deliver small increments, and the name of increments differs from model to model, differ from methodology to frameworks. A methodology is a model, a framework is customizable, which is tailor made, which works based on the user's needs, so which is all changeable, which is all modifiable. Agile projects, by and large itself, people go in for this Agile project because when there is a frequent change in requirements and when the changes are so rapid, so dynamic, people go in for this Agile software development model. So, the functionalities of a manager, if he wants to develop a successful product and if the product is to have a better quality, if the product is successful, then as far as Agile management is concerned, it is not the manager's success, it is the team's success. Because of the entire team's hard work, the product became successful, and because of the hand holding of this Agile manager, the product became successful. As far as the manager designation, as far as this Agile model is concerned, in extreme programming, the project manager, when he is going to use extreme programming method, he is called as, the project manager is called as an Agile coach. In Agile development, by and large, the project managers are called as an Agile coach. In extreme programming, when he is going to use it, he is called as an XP coach. Whereas, the same manager, when he is going to work with a Scrum framework, he is called as a Scrum master. Here, he is as well called an Agile coach, but when he is going to work with a Scrum framework, the same manager is called as a Scrum master. A Scrum master, or when we go in for this extreme programming, an XP coach, both of them have to handhold the development team, the team members. Supposing if they are without any experience, they have to handhold the team members and see to that, and it is the responsibility of the Scrum Master or the XP coach to see to that a small increment or a minimum marketable feature, which is as well called as, in short it is called as MMF, is being delivered. Now let us see the functionalities of such a manager. Any manager, whoever is managing a project, he has to be capable enough to solve the problem. He should be in a position to make decisions, and the success or failure of a project depends on the manager's decision making. That is the reason, as far as the manager is concerned, there will be an experienced person. So the first and foremost functionality of a manager should be in terms of problem solving and in terms of decision making. Then a manager, he should be good at planning. He should know how to design, how to plan, how to focus, so that the end result is obtained, so that a minimum marketable feature is obtained, so that a feature is given, or a small increment is given, or a small release is given. I give it in different terminologies. These different terminologies, if you are going to use one model, the terminologies, the end result terms vary. When you work with the extreme programming, smaller increments you call it as small releases. When you work with Scrum framework, wherein it is a project management approach, you have sprints. Those sprints, after sprint, when you get the delivery, it is called as minimum marketable feature, MMF. When the same output, if it has been worked with a feature driven development model, FDD model, such an output is called as feature. So my dear students, the output, the small incremental output, the naming convention, the terminology differs, only the naming convention differs, but overall when you could see, they are releasing it small increments, which is not the case with respect to a traditional software development lifecycle model. In a traditional development lifecycle model such as the waterfall model, they deliver the whole product at the end, and the customer at the end, if he is not satisfied, he will say client, he will ask the development people to revamp the entire project and to work out. But here, when you are going to, in the agile software development, when the people are going to give it in small increments, if the customer is satisfied, then and there, if the customer or the customer representative, a representative is a person whom the customer employs and who will be part of the agile software development team. So when they are satisfied based on the small increments, they will go ahead with an incremental delivery. So if you want to go with that incremental delivery, the manager should have a good problem solving skill, and he should be good at decision making, and he should have a good planning and time management. We said about a framework called as Scrum framework. As far as Scrum framework is concerned, anything and everything will go ahead working with sprints. A sprint duration will be of 15 days to a maximum of 4 weeks, that is 30 days. So it is about time management. It is all time boxed, time bound, wherein you are supposed to give your incremental delivery, minimum marketable feature, every 15 days once. In terms of when you work with an extreme programming model, wherein you work for 8 hours in a day and 40 hours in a week. Supposing if you are not able to work 8 hours in a day, you need to see to that you have worked 40 hours in a week. So it is all time bound. So that time management, it has to be maintained, it has to be monitored by a manager. That is as well one of the functionality of a manager. Then delegation of resources, delegation of manpower, it has to be done by the project manager, the manager involved in agile projects, or this delegation happens even in the traditional life cycle development models. And then communication skill, he should be very good at communicating with the client. He is the face of the company, He is the face of the organization. So he has to get the exact requirement from the client, and he has to revamp, and he has to say it to the development team. When he is going to get the requirements from the client, the language that he uses to get the requirement from the customer is called as business language. When the same business language, when he is going to express it to the development team, the same language, it is called as the technical language, which means he has to, it is the responsibility of a manager to convert a business language into a technical language when he is going to address the same issue to the team. But when he is going to address the issue to the customer does not know the technicalities, the functionalities available in a project. He knows only about the business. So when he is going to address the customer, he has to speak about the business language. So in which the manager should be capable enough in terms of communication, in terms of representing himself. So he should possess such a kind of communication skill. Then a manager should be good at managing, should be a good leader too. As far as Agile software development project is concerned, he should be good at leading, he should be a good leader too, and he should be a good manager. Say for example, if there is a flaw and if the development team was not able to resolve it, so he has full control to the development team, and he should be in a position to safeguard the development team both from the customer end as well from the organization. He should be supportive enough, and supposing if he gets an incorrigible team member. My dear students, what do you mean incorrigible? Incorrigible means if a team member, if he is not willing to work, if the team member is going to spoil the environment, if he is not so agile, so rapid, so fast paced, if he is not able to understand what is going on, then the project manager has every right to remove that particular team member. Such a team member is called as an incorrigible team member. My dear students, from this slide, the terminologies that you learnt were business language, communicating with the customer by the project manager, customer to the project manager, you call it as a business language, project manager to the development end, you call it as technical language. Then how he manages, what is a sprint, what is a release, what is a feature, what is a minimum marketable feature. So those things are certain terminologies that you learn from the slide. Then when we go on to the next level, let us now learn about the ABCs of management. What do you mean by ABCs of management? In your schooling you would have learnt, in your early days when you were kids you would have learnt about the alphabets A, B and C. Here the ABC is different. A stands for activators. The manager should be an activator. That type of strategy followed by a manager before his workforce, it should be based on the performance. It should set a stand on the performance. That is called an activator. He should activate the team. If a team is so lethargic, or if the team is fixed with some issue, then he should be a good motivator. A manager is a motivator. As far as the Scrum framework is concerned, as far as an Agile project management is concerned, a manager, whoever is an activator, should be a good motivator. My dear students, kindly make a note of it. An activator in an Agile software development lifecycle project is concerned, he should be a motivator too. Then second B, ABC, in which the B is concerned, behavior. He needs to check how the workforce performs, or how they behave, how they interact within their peers, within their team, how they work collaboratively. In an Agile software development team, they should interact well, they should be collaborative. The more and more they interact, the more and more fruitful the outcome becomes. And that is the reason when people work with a model called as extreme programming, or XP in short, they use a technique called as pair programming. My dear students, kindly make a note of this technique, pair programming. Pair programming is a technique wherein two people sit together, they work for a same logic of code. Such a kind of coding is called as pair programming. So it is the responsibility of the agile manager in extreme programming. What is the name of the agile manager called as? He is called as XP coach. It is the responsibility of the XP coach to monitor whether the pair programming is done in the correct fashion. So how people behave within the activity or situation as a result of activators or as a result of certain consequences. Then the C of management, A, B, C. We have seen A and B, now the C of management. C relates to consequences. How the manager handles the workforce for the performance. How he gets a better quality in the feature that he is going to deliver. So it is the responsibility of the manager to make a note of this ABC of management: activator, behavior and consequences. Now let us see the need for this agile project management. Agile project management is one of the revolutionary method introduced for the practice of project management. This is one of the latest project management strategy that is mainly applied to project management practice in software development. It is the best to relate agile project management to the software development process when understanding it. From the inception of a software development as a business, there have been a number of processes following, such as the waterfall model. With the advancements of the software development, technologies and change in the business requirements, the traditional models were not so robust enough to cater to the new demands, to the demands that arise in the recent times. So that is the reason people went on for this agile project management. Then the other reason for people to go with agile project management is to have more flexible software development models that were required in order to address the agility of the requirements. As a result, the information technology community developed agile software development models. Agile, the term, the keyword, the agile is an umbrella term which is used for identifying various models used for the agile development, such as Scrum and extreme programming, which we saw in the earlier slide, XP. Agile development model is different from the conventional or the traditional life cycle models, wherein this agile project management is a specialized area in the project management. Now let us see the speciality of using an agile project management. Agile project management, which is shortly called as an APM, it is an iterative approach to planning and guiding project processes. Agile project is completed in small sections. These sections are called as iterations. Each section or an iteration is reviewed and critiqued by the project team, which should include representatives of the project's various stakeholders. My dear students, who is a stakeholder? Any person who is part of the project development, who is part of making the incremental delivery, is called as a stakeholder. In a Scrum framework, a Scrum Master is a stakeholder. The development team is a stakeholder, that is, the entire team member is a stakeholder. The product owner, who is a product owner, my dear students? The customer representative. Who is a customer representative, my dear students? A person who is employed by the customer to be part of the entire agile project management team is said to be a customer representative. A customer representative is also called as a product owner. So, in a Scrum framework, the team member, the Scrum master, the product owner, everyone are called as stakeholders, collectively called as stakeholders. So, here each section or iteration is reviewed and critiqued by the project team, which should include representatives of the project's various stakeholders. So, the other specialty of using an agile project management is that as insights are gained from the critique of an iteration that are used to determine what the next step should be in the project. The main benefit of using an agile project management is its ability to respond to issues as they arise throughout the course of the project. Making a necessary change to a project at the right time can save resources and ultimately help deliver a successful project on time and within budget. Because how do you deliver it on time and within budget? Because you work with sprints, you deliver it in small increments and you calculate the budget then and there. So, you do estimation on the go. You do not plan your estimation fully, you do estimations on the go. We have certain estimation techniques. Again, when we work with the Scrum framework, you have an estimation technique called as planning poker. If you have seen, okay, if you have not seen, you will be seeing it in the due course of time, in the due course of lectures. So, when we go with planning poker estimations, you work out the project on time and you will complete it within the stipulated budget. Then, now let us see what an agile process is all about. So, here in agile process, you have the iterative planning. My dear students, what do you mean by iterative planning? You plan it again and again, you work out with iterations. You have dynamic requirements. My dear students, why do you have dynamic requirements? This is the basic difference between a traditional life cycle model and an agile life cycle model. In a traditional life cycle model, you had only one set of requirements which you call as a static requirements. When you work with the agile software development life cycle models, you have frequent change in requirements. Such a change in requirement, you call it as a dynamic requirement. So, when you have a dynamic requirement, definitely your planning will change. When you change the planning often, when you plan again and again, you call such a planning as an iterative planning. Iterative means repeated plannings, and you show the small deliveries, small releases, small features, small minimum marketable feature to the customer. Who is a customer, my dear students? A customer is defined as most superior part of an organizational unit. What do you mean by organizational unit? Why is not called as an organization? Because in an organization there will be 10 to 20 projects will be going on simultaneously. So, each and every project will be called as a unit, and that is the reason a customer, by definition, he is said to be the most superior part of an organizational unit. Wherein, why is said to be called as the most superior part? It is because only because of the customer, we the development team members are being paid properly. Only because of the amount that is going to shed to us, to the organization, will be giving payment to the development team or to the people whoever is involved in the project. So, this definition you are supposed to remember. So, here based on which you get a continuous feedback from the customer end, and when there is a continuous feedback, you deliver in small increments. So, that is called as small delivery. Then here, after you make a small delivery, you go in for continuous review or continuous testing is being made. Such a kind of testing, you call it as an integration testing. Such a kind of testing, when you do it often, several times in a day, you call it as a regression testing. I suppose, my dear students, you would have studied regression testing when you did your software engineering course, wherein you have two kinds of approaches. One is called as a top down approach, the other one is called as a bottom up approach. So, You make top down approach and bottom up approach at the same instant of time. You regressively test again and again in order to give the deployable products. And my dear students, the people whoever the development team member, whoever is working in agile software development model, they are all adaptive teams. They should be prepared to work any change in requirements. Such a team is called as adaptive team. So this is the agile process all about. Now let us see the emphasis on agile model. The agile model emphasizes on the fact that entire team should be tightly integrated unit. This includes the developers, quality assurance, project management and the customer. Frequent communication is one of the key factors that makes the integration possible. Therefore, daily meetings are held in order to determine the day's work and dependencies. Deliveries will be of short term, small features, small releases. Usually a delivery cycle ranges from 1 week to 4 weeks. I said from 15 days to 4 weeks, or it can even be a very small cycle will be of 1 week duration. 1 week to 4 weeks, which are commonly known as sprints when you use Scrum framework. Agile project teams follow open communication. They should be interactive. They should collaborate with their own team members. And when they use open communication techniques and tools which enable the team members, including the customer or the customer representative, to express their views and feedback openly and freely. Let us now see the scope of agile project management. In an agile project, the entire team is responsible in managing the team, and it is not just the project manager's responsibility, it is the entire team members' responsibility. When it comes to processes and procedures, the common sense is to be used over the written policies. This makes sure that there is no delay in decision making, and therefore things can progress faster. Now, to have a scope of agile project management to be continued, in addition to being a manager, the agile project management function should also demonstrate the leadership and skills in motivating others. This helps in retaining the spirit among the team members and gets the team to follow discipline. Agile project manager is not the boss. He will be one among the team member. He should facilitate and coordinate the activities and resources required for quality and speedy software development. The responsibilities of agile project manager are in maintaining the agile values and practices in the project team. The agile project manager should remove the impediments as the core function of the role. He should help the project team members to turn the requirements backlog into a working software functionality. He should facilitate and encourage effectiveness and open communication with the team. He should be responsible for holding agile meetings that discusses short-term plans and plans to overcome obstacles. He should enhance the tool and practices used in the development process. The agile project manager should be a chief motivator of the team and plays the mentor role for the team members as well. So now let us summarize the session. We saw about different functionalities of a manager. We saw about the ABCs of a management. We saw the need for agile project management. We saw the specialities of agile project management. We saw what an agile process is all about. We saw the emphasis on the usage of the agile model. We saw the scope of agile projects, and we saw the roles and responsibilities of an agile project manager in working out with agile projects. Thank you.